What would you do if you saw a child in danger and every second counted? Picture this. A single dad, barely holding it together, spots a girl being dragged away in the dead of night. His heart races, his fists clench, and without a second thought, he charges in, punching first, asking questions later. This is the story of Marcus, a man whose courage and kindness turned a moment of terror into a beacon of hope in the heart of a quiet Atlanta suburb, where the hum of cicadas fills the warm summer air and streetlights flicker against the dusk. Marcus Jackson lives in a modest brick house with his 7-year-old daughter, Lila. The smell of fresh-cut grass lingers as neighbors wave from porches, but Marcus keeps to himself. His hands, calloused from years of wrench turning, are gentle when he braids Lila's hair each morning. But tonight, as the clock ticks past 9 p.m., something feels off. The air is thick, heavy, with an unspoken tension. Marcus steps onto his porch for a breath of fresh air, his coffee mug warm in his hands, when a sharp cry pierces the night. It's a girl's voice, desperate and raw, coming from the alley behind the corner store. Marcus freezes, his pulse hammering. In his ears, he sets the mug down, the ceramic clinking against the porch rail, and sprints toward the sound. The alley is dark, littered with crumpled cans and the faint stench of rotting garbage. There, under the dim glow of a flickering street lamp, he sees her, a teenage girl, maybe 15, struggling against a man twice her size. Her sneakers scrape the pavement, her voice cracking as she begs, "Let me go." The man's grip tightens, his face shadowed but menacing. Marcus doesn't think. His body moves before his mind catches up. The impact sends a jolt through Marcus's arm, the man stumbling back with a grunt. The girl breaks free, gasping, her eyes wide with fear and relief. "Run!" Marcus shouts, but she's frozen, trembling against the alley wall. The man recovers, lunging at Marcus with a snarl, but Marcus is ready. He dodges, his heart pounding like a drum, and lands another punch, this one to the man's chest. The attacker staggers, then bolts into the darkness, leaving only the echo of his footsteps. Marcus turns to the girl, his breath ragged. "You okay?" he asks, his voice softer now, though it trembles with adrenaline. She nods, tears streaming down her face, her braids loose and tangled. "Her name is Kaylee," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. She's shaking, clutching her backpack like a lifeline. Marcus kneels, meeting her eyes. "You're safe now," he says, and those words, simple as they are, seem to anchor her. He pulls out his phone, dials 911, and stays with her, the distant wail of sirens growing louder. Can you imagine how it feels to be her in that moment? To go from terror to trust in the span of a heartbeat. Kaylee's mother, Ms. Thompson, arrives soon after, her face etched with panic and gratitude. She wraps Kaylee in her arms, sobbing, then turns to Marcus. "You saved her," she says, her voice breaking. Marcus shakes his head, uncomfortable. With the praise, "Just did what anyone would," he mutters, but Ms. Thompson grabs his hand, her grip fierce. "No, not anyone." That moment, under the flickering street lamp, plants a seed of connection, a spark of kindness that will ripple further than Marcus could ever imagine. The next morning, Marcus wakes to the smell of Lila's pancakes burning. In the kitchen, she's trying to surprise him, her small hands fumbling with the spatula. He laughs, the sound warm and grounding, but his mind is still in that alley. Lila notices his quietness, her big brown eyes searching his face. "Daddy, you okay?" He forces a smile, ruffling her hair. "Yeah, baby girl, just thinking." He pushes the thought away, focusing on Lila's chatter about school, but the weight lingers. Days pass, and the neighborhood buzzes with the story. Marcus avoids the attention, but it finds him. At the auto shop, customers bring him coffee, pat his back, call him a hero. He brushes it off, but the gratitude feels like a spotlight he doesn't want. Then, one evening, Miss Thompson knocks on his door, Kaylee at her side. The girl looks different, now calmer, her eyes brighter, though still cautious. They've brought a homemade peach cobbler, the sweet aroma filling Marcus's small living room. "We wanted to thank you properly," Miss Thompson says, her voice steady but warm. Kaylee steps forward, holding out a folded piece of paper. It's a drawing. Tall and strong, standing in front of her like a shield, with "My Hero" scrawled in crayon at the top. Marcus's throat tightens. He takes the drawing, his fingers brushing the paper as if it's fragile. "You didn't have to," he says, but Kaylee shakes her head. "I wanted to," she says, her voice stronger now. "You made me feel like I matter." Those words hit Marcus like a tidal wave. For years, he's been living for Leela, keeping his head down, carrying the weight of loss alone. But in this moment, he realizes his actions have reached beyond his own world, touching a stranger's life in a way he never expected. Can you feel that shift? That moment when you realize one choice can change everything. The story could have ended there, but life has a way of surprising you. A week later, Marcus is at the park with Lila, pushing her on the swings, the creak of the chains mixing with her giggles. He notices Kaylee across the field, sitting alone on a bench, her backpack at her feet. She's sketching, her pencil moving. Furiously across the page, something about her posture hunched guarded pulls at Marcus. He tells Lila to keep swinging and walks over. "Hey," he says, keeping his distance. "You good?" Kaylee looks up, startled, then relaxes. "Yeah, just drawing." She hesitates, then flips the sketchbook to show him a detailed pencil drawing of the alley. But instead of darkness, it's bathed in light, with Marcus standing tall, a faint glow around him. "It's how I see it now," she says quietly. "Not scary anymore." Marcus doesn't know what to say. He's no artist, no poet, but he feels the weight of her words, the way her art transforms pain into hope. He sits beside her, and they talk not about the alley, but about her dreams. She wants to be an artist, she says, but her mom can't afford art classes. Marcus listens, his mind racing. He's not rich, far from it, but he knows struggle. He knows what it's like to want something better for your kid. That night, he lies awake, an idea forming. Here's where the story turns, and it's a moment that'll make you lean in. Marcus remembers a coworker, Jamal, who runs a community art program on weekends. It's free, funded by local donations, but it's small, barely advertised. Marcus calls Jamal the next morning, his voice steady but urgent. "Got a kid who needs this," he says. Jamal agrees to meet Kaylee, and by the next Saturday, she's there. Surrounded by easels and paint, her face lit up like Marcus has never seen. He watches from the sidelines, Lila at his side, as Kaylee blends colors, her hands steady, her smile tentative but real. Ms. Thompson pulls Marcus aside, tears in her eyes. "You didn't just save her that night," she says. "You're giving her a future." But the ripples don't stop there. Kaylee's art catches the eye of a local gallery owner at the program's end-of-summer showcase. She's offered a spot in a youth exhibition, her drawings displayed for the whole city too. See, Marcus attends, Leela clutching his hand, and when he sees Kaylee's work vibrant, he's not just a dad, not just a mechanic, he's someone who can make a difference, one small act at a time. The crowd claps, Kaylee beams, and Marcus feels a warmth he hasn't known since his wife passed. The climax comes on a quiet evening. Months later, when Marcus opens his door to find a package, inside is a framed drawing Callie's from the gallery. It's him and Lila, laughing in the park, surrounded by colors so vivid they seem to pulse. A note is tucked inside. "You showed me kindness can change everything. I hope this shows you how much you mean to me." Marcus hangs the drawing above his fireplace, his eyes stinging. Leela climbs into his lap, pointing at it. "That's us, Daddy," she says, and he nods, unable to speak. In that moment, he knows he's not just raising a daughter, he's building a legacy of hope. Now, picture this. One man, one choice, one punch in the dark, leading to a chain of kindness that lights up lives. Marcus didn't just save Kaylee. That night, he showed her she's worth fighting for, worth believing in. And that's the power of kindness. It doesn't just change one moment, it changes everything. So, what's your story? Have you ever seen kindness spark a change? Drop it in the comments below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that'll make you believe in the good in this world. And if you want to see how one small act can transform a whole community, check out our next video wits, a story you won't want to miss.